All right, we here.
Yeah, man.
One more time on the grind with mOody bLaCk. We got my bro, coming all the way for Tennessee, Memphis.
Memphis 10.
My man Timothy here, man. I'm telling you, we out here at Spartanburg, Sparkle City, South Carolina. My home city, by the way.
In the Crib's Kitchen.
Crib's Kitchen.
Yeah, they got some good food too.
Yeah, our first time being. So shout out to Crib's Kitchen, man. Let's be here. So let's get right to it, bro. Welcome to the city, number one. Hope you liking everything so far.
Yeah, man, it's a dope city, man. I like Spartanburg, man. It's nice. It's kind of like my hometown, Tuskegee. You know, got a real
I see you repping right there.
But I'm definitely based in Memphis 10, man. I really like the city though, man. It's dope.
Okay, well, let's get right to it, man. How long you been a poet, man? How long you been doing this thing?
Man, I hate to use a cliche, from the moment I could grab a pencil, but
it was the truth though. It was the truth.
It was true. Like she told me, when I was 7, I came home with the rose red bottle, some blue joint. But I think for real, probably about 15 years. I'm 38, so I've been grinding hard since I was 23.
Wow.
So about 15 years, and probably about 12 years professionally where I was really making a decent income from it. So.
That's what's up. So what's the future with it, man? What's your future goals with the pen? Because everybody kind of stay in one role, perform places, do slam. But what's your goal with it?
Yeah, man. Ironically, I've been coaching so much. I've led slam teams. I brought slam back to Memphis. I've always been a part of a team or leading a team. This year, I'm doing some indie work. I'm really getting back to slam and I'm kind of reinventing myself to come back and see what Urban Thoughts can do. See, if I can hold up against the Young Bucks. I want to just go as an indie for 1 year. But more so, what I found is my own niche. And my niche is basically a poet that teaches well. So what I've been doing is the structured curriculum work, going into schools and showing them hey, I can boost your literacy English scores if you give me time and space to create your curriculum. So what it looks like is me interviewing, the English teachers, the history teachers, anybody that works with a pen and paper in their environment and seeing what they're doing, right? And putting poetry and hip hop and things that are occurring in pop to the kids inside their curriculum for them. So I create lesson plans, unit plans, project-based learning, experimental learning, the whole 9, even some Montessori principles, delving directly from poetry.
So arts integration, basically.
Yeah, man, arts integration.
So y'all listening, y'all need to hire this brother, man. This is what we do.
It's a new way.
That's what it's all about. Definitely. Now you said hip hop. Now I'm always in this conversation with people about hip hop artists and how much hip hop has been an influence to us in our art. But come on, give me your top 5 lyricists. There's a difference. I didn't say MC because MC means you move with the crowd.
Yeah.
But who do you give credit to their pen game? So it don't have to be in any specific order, but it's top 5.
Right, so I'm gonna take the order out of it because that's crucial. That's crucial. All right, so you gotta start. Now I do have a definite number 1 though.
Okay.
I do have a definite number 1. My definite number 1 is Rakim.
Well, I love y'all. I knew that's why we brothers. I knew it.
You can't argue what he's done with hip hop, with his pen game. He can tell multiple stories. He literally influenced how a lot of current guys rap.
Because he has an internal rhyme scheme.
Yeah. Rhyme scheme is sick.
He's flowing laid back with it.
The cat is sick, Different there, you gotta go with a guy that people find a little controversial. But when you look at his monosyllabic and some of the things he did with a pen and the stories he can construct, you gotta go Eminem. You gotta put Eminem.
I feel you.
I feel you. I love Nas, so you gotta go with Nas because his storytelling is sick.
Yeah, he's
sick.
And he's creative with it. He does it. I think about the joint. He was a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, on it was written.
I'm gonna tell you somebody that people always overlook, and I don't understand why, because the brother is just fantastic. Black Thought.
I love that. I mean, I had a conversation with a couple other poets. I'm gonna tell you why I think what comes up with him, why he kind of don't get on everybody's list. He don't have that wow factor. His personality is kind of so low key. He's not really he's not that wow blah blah.
Look at his pen.
Oh, don't.
When you look at his pen, their brother can go.
I read an article. He said And I believe it, like, cats don't want to spit with him.
Exactly.
Think about the cats on their CD, on every album.
They don't.
It's either like you already in the group or you part of that Spit Kicker tour. You part of that Most Defs, your Ty Libs, the Commons, because they cool with them. But how many people outside that really, I mean, it's been a few here and there, but not a lot of cats that get on the track with Black Thought.
Not a lot of cats want to, because he's gonna elevate it. He's gonna be the feature of it. It's gonna make you question, like, man, who's the guy? Is it him featured on your stuff, or you featured on his stuff?
Right,
so, like,
right.
A lot of people don't want to be in that angle.
Right.
So, like, you got a lot of cats, man. You got Jay-Z. He elevated some things, and he's done a lot. I look at his overall thing. You got Pac and Biggie. Of course, those are classics. I just kind of put those on like a kind of Mount Rushmore type deal. When I look at them, holistically.
Okay.
But it's one guy that comes out that through the years has been ridiculous, and it's Andre 3 Stacks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, now I get into this with a lot of cats. My Northern brothers, I love y'all.
That's my five.
I love my Northern brothers, but they be ready to fight you if you mention Andre 3000.
Yes, because you look at it like decade after decade, this brother has evolved. He's pushed the experience. He's rededicated drum beat patterns. Like, you throw him on any track and he kills it.
Yeah, just pen game.
It's undeniable what he does.
Well, what comes up with him is the fact that he don't have any solo work per se, but just for verse, we just talking about lyricists and his writing. That's my support for him is that we just talking about lyricism.
Just flat out
so
lyricism.
The dude, you got to put him on the list somewhere.
Flat out lyricism. I mean, and I'll go with Big. Like, I have a problem with Big because it's the amount of work. Like,
not just the amount of work, man. I think. And I know my New York brothers ready to fight me for real.
New York ready, man. They got some legs ready right now. I'm looking on my back right now. I'm like,
but that's blasphemy to say Big ain't the best ever. And I'm with you on that. And I think Big is he's a great storyteller.
Yeah, great storyteller.
And how he put words together. He also took the whole internal rhyme scheme to another level in his writing. But number one, body work. Two, it's a subject matter that a lot of rappers have done. The dope game and stuff. He does it well. Now, get me wrong. Just like Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z, had he not grown, I think had Jay-Z not grown, I would have kept in that same category.
There's probably with, like, when I look at Jay-Z, his body work is so massive. Right?
Yeah.
And then when I look at like, American Gangster Acapella, that album.
I love that album. And people don't talk about the album.
They don't even talk about that one. Blueprint was dope.
That's my favorite, Blueprint.
I mean,
American Gangster.
His
the Black
stuff,
album. I like the Black album.
He has stuff, man. I mean, somebody I hate that doesn't get mentioned as well is LL Cool J.
LL Pioneer.
His brother has been across literally decades.
Yeah, he got some work, man.
When I look at like overall lyricism, LL was more like a crowd mover, man. He kind of, to me, him and Jay-Z are kind of people that, like, they have the total package. They got charisma, they got the business sense, they got the markets. Their package makes them. But when I look at like this pure pen game, like, whose pen do I not want to be up against? It's those five. You know what I'm saying? It's those five, man.
Well, let's bring it back to poetry for a minute, man. Speaking of pen game, who have been some of your influences in poetry, man? Because either we deny it or not. Some cats like, man, I'm my influence. It's just me. We all been influenced by somebody in the poetry game that makes us elevate our game to be a better poet, better writer, better performer.
Man, it's a couple of cats, yo. Man, let me first off, I gotta start off with my mom. Like, my mom, my dad.
That's what's up.
So, like, my mom is like a artisan. Like, literally, she just creates things, right? Whether it's baby baskets, diaper cakes, just stuff, right? And she uses calligraphy and writes words. Like, watching her creative process always motivated me to be more creative. My dad is a poet. Like, my dad literally keep paper by his bedside, wake up in the middle of the night, he'll have these visions and he'll write. Especially during his later years, he motivates me to be a different man, right? My dad went through a lot of transformations of time. And like now, when I look at my dad now, like, I get his faults and I get his joys and I get his triumphs of like what made him him. So now, looking like who he is now as an older man versus younger man, and seeing like anybody can change, anybody can be better, anybody can catapult what they are. But like those two kind of early influenced me because they were always pushing books into my hand. They were like, hey, read this book. We didn't have much growing up in Tuskegee, Alabama, but what we did, we had each other. The first book they gave me was Langston Hughes.
Right.
It was the anthology of Langston Hughes, and people always talking about academic poetry has to look a certain way, it needs to be a certain way. And here was Langston Hughes using common language to reach the people. His whole thing was, I don't have to use these big words to captivate the people. What good does it do if my poetry can't be read by the people? Because when it's time, people forget, people had third grade reading levels, second grade reading levels.
Yeah,
So it didn't matter to the average black person, these big words, you couldn't read them. So Langston was using really high level concepts, high level ideas to reach the people. And it kind of sculpted how I sculpt my poems down. I can reach down and make them, academically great. I got a master's degree, bachelor's degree. But what really motivates me is how can I take complex ideas and make them simple for the people? Current pens that I really admire, Saul Williams. I think he just changed the game of how poetry was seen, viewed, spit. Amethyst Rock.
Oh man, one of his best.
Of the all-time favorite poems. There's a brother that I just love, mOody bLaCk.
Man, come on, you gotta save me, man. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. You gotta save me, man. You gotta save me, man.
I saw you, man, and we did those slave poem, man, with the hip hop joint. Yeah, Mike Sprout. That was crazy. It motivated me to look at how one man show gets performed and how one man can use voice inflection and bring all these different things in. That's dope.
I'm honored. I appreciate it, man. But you ain't got to save me, man.
And Mabry's poem, Pen Game, is sick. The way he develops concepts for his pieces is
four-time world champion.
And just the way he just perfects his craft. A cat that I really, really, really admire right now is one of my brothers, Knight the poet. He's actually out of Memphis as well. But his pen game second to none. I can't wait. He's gonna erupt this year. He's a battle poet and a battle rapper right now. But that kid's poem, his poetry is just sick. The way he streams stuff together. We have battles. He'll send me a prompt. I send him a prompt. And he sends me something, I go, all right, I ain't ready to send mine back yet. He makes me want to go back, to the drawing board. It's stupid.
bLaCk.
Man, the stuff he puts on paper just makes me look at my paper and be like, this kid is crazy. It's crazy.
The NFL poem.
Yes.
Sick.
NFL poem, man.
Sick. I've seen this when you know you're great, when you inspire other poets to come up with a similar concept and try to flip it.
Yes. and it don't work.
Yeah, but that shows how much you influence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you can influence a whole nation of writers to come up with another concept similar to yours.
Exactly. Then my last guy, man, is my mentor, Asia Sampson, man. He's a dope poet because he uses language in such a powerful way, and it invokes emotion, right?
Yeah, Asia dope, man. Don't tell him I said that, man. I hate you, Asia.
He'll make you
I hate
cry,
you.
You know what I'm saying? You in your feelings, and I'm like, dang, and it's not for it doesn't take the whole 3 minutes. It's normally within that first 20 seconds, first 30 seconds, you just captivated. His storytelling ability and the way he folds stories into stories.
Asia's a beast, man.
It's just nasty.
Asia, you know I love you, bro. I got to talk junk.
That's my squad, man. That's my squad. And there's a bunch of women, but when I think through the representation, I have to look at people that look like me and that I admire to be, and I gravitate towards those people. And it's not for a lack of opinions, because Kyle's pen is dope, it's crazy.
So
It's so many dope poets and female poets out there. But that's my people. That's the people that kind of motivate me to get up and write.
That's a good squad. It's a good squad, man. I appreciate it. So real quick, man, anything you want to tell any up-and-coming poets, man? Any piece of advice you want to leave them? Because, we got a whole other generation coming up. So what would you tell them?
I would tell them not to lose themselves in the stage. And by that I mean, chase the stage, chase the fame, chase the dollar. But man, don't lose your reason for why you wanted to become a poet in the first place. Because none of us started this thing for the fame. All of us started because we were like, man, we want to get this idea out. We're trying to heal ourselves, heal other people. Like, for the most part, every poet started for a reason. So whatever your reason is, don't lose that. Second, stop this nonsense about starving artists. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
That is nuts. Like, there's plenty of money in poetry. There's plenty of people doing it well. I'm a big boy, so I'm eating well. I'm eating well out here. So I need y'all to understand, like, that starving artist idea, that's foolishness. Like, there's plenty of money out here, like grants, curriculum writing. Like, you just gotta think big. Stop limiting yourself to only the page, only the stage. There's so much more stuff out there. There's so much more that we can get into. And then the last thing is read more than you write. Like, read more than you write. Like, you're Sonny Patterson. How did I leave Sonny off the list? Sonny's dope. Sonny inspires me a lot.
I think she inspired the whole generation of poets, bro.
But Sonny said something that was really critical. She said that poetry is a conversation, and sometimes in that conversation we have to be quiet. Like, we think so much that poetry is always talking, but sometimes you have to be quiet. Sometimes you need to watch the world, watch the people, read, study language, like study the craft, and then write your poem. And sometimes we're just so quick to write and speak that we forget that the conversation is two ways. Just take energy, give energy.
Profound.
And then I take that with me a lot, and that's Sonny Patterson. Like, that's a jacked up paraphrase, but that's the idea behind what she was saying.
Get it.
And I really push young poets to do that. Like, work on your craft. Like, whatever end goal, outcome, the stage page, whatever greatness you want to do, ain't none of that gonna come unless you're actually doing the craft. Like, I'm 38. I literally just got through being in the woods for a week at the watering hole because I'm trying to develop my craft. I'm in South Carolina, visiting mOody and Willow, dabbling in Athena at MFA workshops, developing my craft. Like, so whatever money comes my way, whatever benefits comes my way, the big gigs people think so easy. Oh, Urban Thoughts gets this, that, my bio, whatever that's worth. All that comes because I'm developing my craft. I'm always looking at myself like, I need to be better. I need to craft, and not even better than the next poet. Better for myself. Like, when you have the internal drive to try to be better, then your work will reflect that. So, like,